How can a sovereign person be underwater in debt? Well, of course you can't. Because when you owe more than you can immediately repay, you're effectively owned by the person to whom you owe the money. So,
is that true? Those of you who have credit cards or mortgages or car loans, do you feel like you're owned by the finance company or credit card company or that you owe money to? Or did you use what is commonly known as leverage? You see, being in real estate, and I would think Tucker has got some investments, you understand the biggest opportunities are based upon leverage. When I go to buy a property, and that property is X whatever, it doesn't mean I'm paying X whatever. It means somebody says to me, I will lend you this much so that you can purchase that property, do what you need to do, sell it, and then pay me off and put the rest in your pocket. Do I feel owned? No. Just the opposite. I have opportunity. I have people who will lend me X, Y, and Z because they understand what my objective is here is not to think I'm wallowed in debt. I'm going to do something with that debt. And so he doesn't talk this way because he's talking to this much of an audience who has no clue, none whatsoever, how leverage can be an opportunity if you know what you're doing. But never, I don't feel owned. Never felt that way. It's a tool. Mortgages, investments. Well, investments you don't really pay, but like a mortgage, it's a tool to get you to the next step. And he's like, he says here, it's an attack on sovereignty.
Debt is an attack on sovereignty. And it's important to say that because no one ever does. And so you kind of move around this society and hear people talk about their credit scores. If it's a significant measure of something, got to have a good credit score. What are you really saying? You have to be worthy of losing your sovereignty to a bank, to a moneylender?
Every single one of you cares about a credit score or credit worthiness. Every single one of you. If I knocked on your door and said, can I borrow, $300 from you? I don't know you. I don't know anything about you. I don't know if you're going to pay me back. I need to find out some stuff from you to know that you've got the capacity to pay me back. So how would I find out the capacity as to whether or not you can pay me back? Oh, credit score is one thing. I don't particularly like credit scores. How about credit history? Have you paid other people back? So what the hell are you talking about, Tucker? And besides, Tucker, I'm pretty sure you have a home. I'm pretty sure you have a mortgage. You're not making any sense here.
So debt is, of course, and this has been noted in previous societies, really since the beginning of time, a form of slavery. You do not have control over your life when you owe money to people. Well, of course, it's unavoidable.
As I was watching this, I had to just... As I'm stopping it here and talking to you, I was thinking the exact same thing. What the hell is he talking about? You have no control of your life if you owe people money? I can look in my wallet and I can see credit cards and I can see, different things. I have no control of my life? Yeah, I do. Who believes this stuff? And this is what he and MTG and Joe Kent and Tom Massey are going to be pitching. Who are they trying to get support from? They're trying to get support from the Lonely Hearts Club that can say, oh, those people over there. Wow.
In America, unless you're very rich or extremely disciplined beyond what the average person can be expected to maintain.
I'm sorry to break in again. You're extremely disciplined, i.e. you know how to pay your bills more than the average person can be expected to maintain. You're saying that the average person doesn't have the discipline to understand, hey, it's the first of the month, you got to pay this and this and this. And the reason I'm pointing it out, because there's going to be something that comes up here real shortly that will make you go, oh my God, what is he saying?
Going to be in debt. It's hard to do anything without debt. But is that good? Why are we participating in this? Why are we accepting this as the natural order? It's the most unnatural thing ever devised. And it's bad. And that's why every major religion acknowledges that it's not just unhelpful, it's sinful. So it might be
I'm going to call Pastor JJ, who happens to be my lawyer, who happens to do the title on properties, who understands hard money loans, and say, is it sinful that you're working with me and we're getting loans? Hey, like, who are you listening to? I listened to some idiot on YouTube who says that, we should never do anything where we have to utilize debt. And he would probably look at me and say, you might want to stop listening to him, because he is burying people into a life of no opportunity.
a good starting place to say that a society organized around debt at the sovereign, at the national level, but on the personal level, is not a healthy society, because it enslaves people. And it's interesting that when you do say that, and if you're ever to use the U word, usury, which is lending money at interest, which is banned, has...
No, it's not. I don't want to get too deep in the woods, but what do you consider usury? I mean, there's people right down the street in the hood who are going to check cashing stores because they have to, because their banks... There are no banks where they live, so they get check cashing stores, or they get payday loans. A payday loan is one of the egregious things that people can borrow on, but what do you consider usury? Notice he doesn't define it, he just says it. If your credit isn't as good as it should be, you're going to pay more than somebody who has stellar credit. But in any event, whether it's a student loan, whether it's a payday loan, whether it's a mortgage, nobody's putting a gun to anybody's head. Nobody is saying you have to make this transaction. If somebody can get a 4% credit card, good. If somebody else has to get a 25% credit card, well, maybe they have to do that to rebuild their credit. But in any event, nobody is saying you got to sign that paper right now and take this money. But that's how he's making it sound.
Been banned in many countries throughout time because it is bad. Even mentioning that puts you on some list, at least in the minds of the people you're talking to, as like a crazy person, if not a dangerous person.
All right. So we have just listened to him for 1 minute and 50 seconds talk about how bad it is to go in debt. I want you to really think that for a second. Tucker just told us how bad it is to go in debt. Now watch what happens.
Moments later.
Our friends at American Financing have a better way. They're helping homeowners use their hard-earned equity, and they're supporting Americans looking to fulfill the dream of owning a home with more.
What kind of friggin' idiot do you have to be to listen to the diatribe that he just said? Okay, let me take a break for talk to you about my sponsor, and American Financing has worked with us as well. Full disclosure, I don't have any problem with American Financing using Tucker to pitch their wares. I've used American Financing; they have been a partner on the show. But if you just told people don't ever get into debt, how the hell can you be pitching a mortgage company? Again, your eyes more so than your ears. Like, wait a second, did you just lambaste debt and then say, oh, by the way, now it's time for a word from my sponsor, American Financing?
Mortgage rates currently in the 5s. American Financing saves its customers an average of $800 a month. That's about 10 grand a year. It's not just a loan, it's a true financial reset. We recommend American Financing. They're called America's home loans for a reason.
Loans. They're not giving you the money? I can't, hey, American Financing, can you just give me some? No. We're going to give you a home loan. But what? But you just said debt is bad. It's a sin. Oh my gosh. And then literally minutes later, by the way, visit my sponsor where you can get a loan. And I thought to myself as I watched this, because, I have no spare time. I watch stuff like this. I'm like, wait a second. Did the people not see that segue? Did they not see the break that you just made and forget everything before the break, let you make a couple bucks, and then go right back to telling them debt's bad? I can't even believe American Financing went on there. Hey, loans are bad. It sucks that you go into debt. Hey, call my friends at American Financing. They'll set you up with a loan.
So get out of credit card debt. I mean, it is just crazy to borrow money. No judgment, but it doesn't make any sense to borrow money at that rate. If you want out, call 800-685-5696. 800-685-5696 or visit AmericanFinancing.net/Tucker.
And I think that I thought it was the perfect example of what I had to say to you guys today. When everyone's talking about Burrito Gate and it sucks and what Trump has done, that was the most perfect example I could find. I couldn't find a better representation of bull crap. Oh, it sucks. I know you can't afford anything. And going into debt is just extremely awful. It's sinful. Hey, visit my sponsor, American Financing, who I have no problem with because, like I've said, I've worked with them. I don't have any problem, none, with American Financing. I have no problem with Tucker making money from American Financing. That's not the problem. The problem is what came before the ad. The problem is the context of what you were just saying in a soliloquy completely destroyed the idea of calling a finance company for a loan. They don't mean the words coming out of their mouths. You can clip that, Ashley. That is the most prevalent example of understanding how people are lying to you. So as you're perusing X and you're hearing everything about, last year I couldn't buy anything, understand they're doing it on purpose. They're trying to make you seem as though everybody around you is in a bad situation, when at the exact same time, he's talking to people who aren't in that position. Oh, by the way, you can get a loan. And by the way, we're going to take out a home loan. We're going to take equity out of your property. You can think what you want. That should sit with you in your mind, that every single person, every single man, every single woman, every single person who has one of these things in front of their face, this thing here called a microphone, and who has lights and is talking to you in a camera, every single person, especially if they have a large audience, is getting paid. It is up to you to discern how they're getting paid and what they're doing, and it should correlate. It should make sense. You will never, ever hear me go against President Trump. Doesn't care what the trolls say, doesn't matter. I know what life is like under President Trump. I know what opportunities have been presented under President Trump. I feel like I'm an odd man out because I turn around and go, where are all these people living in the gutter? Because everywhere I go, the grocery store, the gym, the dry cleaners. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How's life? Oh, things are great. Oh, okay. Ashley, how are things up in North Carolina? Oh, we're doing good. But when you turn on some of these podcasters and you hear the melodrama that they spew at you, I got a 10-point plan how to change things for the better. What was number one? I'm SSV. Do you know what number one on Tucker's plan was?
I don't know. I didn't listen to that whole piece of crap. But I do have something I can add. Marjorie Trader Green earlier, she said, we are in an economic crisis. But then 5 minutes later, like Tucker, she goes, for only $5,000, I'll record a cameo for you. Come on, man.
I saw the commercial. Is there somebody having a birthday? Give me some money, and I'll make a video going, happy birthday from Mark. Like, who the hell is she? Hey, Dad, Mom, who the hell is this woman telling me happy birthday? You paid for that? You might as well just have handed me the money. But anyway, number one on Tucker's list, which should stop people from going to number two. The number one thing on his list was Epstein.